Guys, so many times I've been asked, is drinking alcohol a sin? The answer will probably surprise you. Now, anybody who's grown up, especially in a Christian home, I am sure has heard from either their parents or someone else in their family that drinking is a sin. Unfortunately, this answer on its face is incorrect, and I'm going to explain to you why. There is nothing biblically stating that the act of drinking alcohol in and of itself is a sin. And the reason that I know this is because if partaking in drinking alcohol, drinking wine, if that was a sin, then that would mean that Jesus Christ is a sinner. And we all know that's not the case. It isn't because the act of drinking alcohol is a sin. It is quite simply because of the way that people act as a result of drinking alcohol. And it's not only just drinking alcohol, it can be consuming drugs, narcotics, whatever the case may be. The way that you act as a result is what results in sinful behavior. Now, as far as drinking goes, the two main commandments that people tend to violate when it comes to alcoholism are the very first two commandments that God has ever given us. Now, I know I can hear you guys in the comment section already, but Matt, alcohol's not a god. When God said, "You shall have no other gods before me," he wasn't just talking about getting on your knees and praying to a statue, praying to Buddha. He was talking about literally putting things before him, anything. There are people who literally need to have a drink every day. There are people who worship the thought of having a drink when they're at work, when they're at school. Believe me when I tell you, if you've gotten to the point where you have to drink no matter what you're doing, you have to have a drink when you're out with your friends, you have to have a drink when you're at home with your family, you have made alcohol your god, and that is where the behavior becomes sinful, which brings me into point number 2. Now, the second commandment is clear: you shall not have any idols. Whether you are worshiping the act of being drunk, or whether or not you love drinking so much that that's all you plan your day around, you now have an idol and a false god that is not our creator. That's as simple as it gets, guys. Social drinking, having a good time, going out in a party, not acting crazy, not acting a fool, there's nothing wrong with that. God loves that you enjoy in fellowship. Jesus Christ used to drink wine with his disciples. There is nothing sinful about the act of consuming alcohol. It's when you overdoing it, it's when you start becoming gluttonous as a result for alcohol, it's when you start acting out and violating other commandments because you can no longer control yourself because you are intoxicated. This is when consuming alcohol becomes sinful. And that's really it, guys. There is no rhyme or reason to it except to just tell you that the act in and of itself is not displeasing to God. It's the way that we act as a result that becomes displeasing to God. So I hope that this answered at least somebody's question out there. If you guys have any follow-up questions, please drop them in the comments below, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate all the support. Go ahead and hit that sub button if you're up for it, guys, and click that bell for event notifications. As always, be safe, good, and blessed. Jesus is King, and remember that tomorrow isn't promised to anybody. Peace, guys. Have a good one.